record so that in particular we're making sure that everyone gets to see you. Hello, all of our Cabs and Boldies.
Hello.
Oh, yeah. So Zoom apparently didn't want to talk to Facebook today. So I'm really excited that I get to share my dear friend Jane with you. So we haven't started recording the podcast yet. I'm gonna get my recorder ready for when we do that. But Jane, you and I, we met in Leverage, right? And you're
like 3 years ago?
That's close, a few years ago, right? Like three? Is it
Three,
three?
yeah. Yeah, 3. But I remember seeing you at Mindset because you're a big presence at Mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, it's on Hug Patrol.
Right.
24/7, right? Yay, oh my gosh. Wait, are you still in Boldhard? What's been going on?
I'm not. You know what I'm doing now is I'm working with Dolores.
Yay! Yay! How have you been? How has it been? Tell me.
It's good. You know, she's awesome, of course. And I'm so glad I met her, and I'm forever grateful to. Actually, I finally wrote my lead generation book.
Woo, woo,
thanks
woo.
to Fabienne's persistence. And I credited both she and Dolores in the acknowledgments for helping me be bigger in the world.
Yay.
Yeah. And you know, Denise Allen is still in Bold Heart. So every time she goes, I'm like, say hi to everybody. Yeah. Oh my God. I always ask her how it is. Yeah.
Yay, oh my goodness, I love it. I love it. What, do you have the title of your book?
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me get a copy.
Yeah. Let's see it.
It is Everything is Perfect, Just Not Me, a roadmap for self-acceptance.
Oh, I love it.
I do too.
Yeah.
And Dolores really, I think the title might be her idea. It's either exactly what she said or very close. Like everything's perfect, just not me. And I'm like, oh, that's it. That's it. Yeah. That's the dynamic.
Yay.
Yeah. So it's great. And last month I looked, in actually October I looked, and I sold 25 copies because it's just on Amazon. And I'm like, I wonder who bought them. Right.
Oh, I love it. You're gonna have to, when I upload the video, I'm gonna have to put the link under.
Awesome.
So that
awesome.
we can share. Yeah, I'm sure this tribe would love to get to see all of the goodies that you're sharing in the world. It's wonderful to get to celebrate one another's.
Isn't it? Yeah, really is. Because we're here to be bigger in the world and help the world more. And it's so nice, because the same thing with people working with Dolores is every time I go to the meetings, it's like I'm surrounded by people who are committed and driven to make the world better. It's just so inspiring every single time.
Yay! Isn't it wonderful to be spoiled? Because here's the thing. When you go to normal networking,
right? I know.
programs or normal retreats and events afterward, you're like, yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Although I have to say, I found a BNI group that, you know, Fabienne kept saying, BNI. And I'm like, I hate BNI. But I found a group who I love. Like, it's Tuesday mornings. It's starting at 7:30, like half an hour away from here. And I'm not a morning person because I work till like 7 o'clock at night. But every Tuesday I leave so excited because they're enthusiastic and they're good-hearted and they're holistic and they support each other, and we clap about 1 million times. Yay! And I just found out yesterday that clapping activates the heart center.
Really?
Yeah, there's a woman there who's training in Kundalini yoga, and she's like, that's one of the reasons we clap, is it activates this. And in my BNI meeting, we literally clap between 50 and 75 times. Because we clap every time somebody speaks. And so we're all like activating our heart centers constantly. It's awesome.
my goddess.
Yeah.
I am going to copy paste that into my brain. Yeah.
Right? Because you do that all the time.
I'm on auto clap. I can't help
Yeah,
it.
right. I know.
No wonder there's so much love and lovely people
Right?
in my life. Oh my goddess.
Right.
Oh my gosh. So I'm gonna be like super aware of that.
Right.
Yay, thank you, thank you.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. For me, since Bold Heart, like I went on to do the Mama Gina program.
Did you?
Yeah.
How was that?
Oh, it was spicy.
Oh.
Very spicy. Lots of sexy, crazy, amazing, transformational, brilliant, gorgeous, awful, sad, rageful, just like woo, unleashed. It's a lot of
Wow.
powerful, emotional unleashed, and she's got my vote. Of like,
Really?
she's a hell yeah.
Awesome.
I think it's amazing that at the top of her game, she's like, and I'm not going to do this anywhere because I don't feel like it.
Really?
Yeah, 800 clients. And she's like, and I am satisfied. I'm like,
Wow.
I love you even more.
Right? Oh my God. Wow. It's amazing.
Magnificent. So,
Choosing yourself first, man.
yeah, leading the way of how to
Yeah.
really, gosh,
Oh.
really do it. Gorgeous. And then I went through Ingrid Arna's program. So she does business healer activations, which is really great. And now I'm working with Russell Brunson.
Wow. That's very cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of techiness. It's a lot of bro energy.
Right?
As soon as you join, they give you your backpack, your t-shirt, and your baseball cap. I'm
Really?
like, yeah. I'm like, I'm in bro city right now. This is great. So like, look at me. I am so not bro.
Right.
I stick out like a sparkling unicorn. And what's
Right.
wonderful is that that actually they celebrate that.
Awesome.
About me. So it's even more love. I'm super grateful. Yay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So good. So as a quick recap of how the podcasty thing works, I'm going to be asking you 4 questions, and it's the same 4 that was in the, so that I originally sent. So just,
Okay.
let me see here. So that is what are you known for? The 3 things that you're known for in your business. So maybe it's rather than just being like, okay, so tell us what you do. I like to say that what are the 3 things that you're known for? Because it helps activate us as your unpaid sales force and referral people. Like, okay, I can file her under that, and that. And so whenever I see people who have these files, I'm going to be like, Jane Tornatore. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's the first question. The second one is, what's the moment you decided to be, or what's the moment you decided to start your business? Now, by the way, how am I introducing you and what's your .coms? I just want to make it.
Dr. Jane Tornatore, everydaylove.me.
So like, I'm going to say, what's the moment you decided to start your business? Right, are you a psychotherapist, or what was your doctor?
Psychotherapist, yeah.
Psychotherapist. Yeah, because psychiatrists give medication.
Right, that's right.
No, we don't want to be
No, that's not what I do.
No, yeah, clarity. So that's the point where we get to hear what was the epiphany of like, I'm not just gonna be a psychotherapist. I'm gonna have like a business with like love and all that. There's something that must have happened. So we want to hear that story.
Oh, actually, the story I was thinking about was the one that just made me become a psychotherapist. The love thing came, that was more of a gradual, like, this is what I want. And I started working differently than I was trained, and I was just working with my intuition instead. So that was not an exciting story. I've got a better story about how I decided to become a psychotherapist, because it was like, oh my God, I want to do that. So I was doing something
Ooh,
totally
okay.
different. I was doing advertising.
Oh my goodness. Okay, perfect.
Right.
Yeah. So I'll remember that. So what was the moment you decided to become a psychotherapist? Okay.
Yeah.
And then the third question is, do you have any advice or personal stories for entrepreneurs who are struggling to not throw in the towel?
Right.
So there's like, all right, I'm at the dark night of the soul.
Right. I know.
I'm not cut out for this. I'm going to throw in the towel. Did you have any of those sort of
Yes.
experiences?
Oh my God. Yeah. Because I'm not a marketer, but it's not my superpower. So I struggled for like, I would say 5 or 6 years, and I barely was eking out a living. But then I did this gratitude practice I can tell the story, but it literally shifted my whole relationship to money. It was weird.
Ooh.
It was like magic. Yeah.
Yay. Okay, that's fabulous. And then number 4 is, yay, where do we get to go celebrate you? That's
All right.
the final question. And
That's
so,
my website.
well, I am promo positive. So you have the book, you have
Oh.
course, you have the website, you have the
Oh, okay.
you have the like. Here's why I'm promo positive. Not only because
Oh, please tell me.
not only because I've rebuked shame from every single fiber of my being and my life, all of
Literally?
my circles, 100%. Yeah, like people have so much shame.
Right?
Like I'm anti-shame. 1, but 2, I know that there's going to be people listening who are divinely contracted to work with you. And I want to, it's not I want to, it's something deeper than that. I delight in building bridges between those who are looking for you and you who are looking for them. Like, I delight in building the bridge. I feel that it's a beautiful thing to show somebody who their match is and where to go and how to connect. Like, I feel so much satisfaction. I feel safer in the world when I'm able to see people connect in that way. And so that's why I'm very promo positive. Like, it for me, it's not about the money. It's not about the ego or anything like that. I delight in building bridges and connecting people who are divinely contracted to be together. Yeah.
I'm going to write that down.
Ooh! Yay! I'm a writer downer. I delight in building bridges. Yeah. I rebuked shame from my life. And I continually am vigilant around where shame comes up. And I said, thank you, now get the hell out.
Right. Wow. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
And plus I'm promo positive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Almost as much fun as sex positive.
Yay! That's yeah. Oh my goddess. I mean, anyone who's really read Think and Grow Rich knows that there's a chapter on sexual energy transmutation and all of that.
Really? I've never read Think and Grow Rich. Might be a good thing to read, huh?
Yeah, there's the sexy part.
I never knew that.
Wait a minute, I have it right here. I'm never far from a book. Ones that I talk about all the time. This is my copy. Let me see. What chapter? Just so that you know.
That's right.
Which one to go to in particular? Hold, please. Oh my God, I love myself. Yeah. So this is chapter 11. The mystery of sex transmutation.
Oh my God. Who knew?
Yeah.
That's amazing. All right.
All
Get
right.
that from the library.
Yeah, like let's see here. The 10 stimuli of the mind, where hunches come from, developing the creative faculty, the driving force of sex.
Wow.
Why men seldom succeed before 40.
Wow.
Let's see, the storehouse of personal magnetism. False beliefs about sex harm the personality. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sure it's backwards.
Right.
You can see it says sex.
Mm-hmm.
Right
It
there.
does. It's not backwards. It shows up forwards.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Yeah, I think you're growing. Anyway.
I never knew. Oh my God.
Yeah, we all got
Thinking grow sexy.
Woo woo. I love it. So sex positive, promo positive.
We're just positive.
Yeah, that's right. I love it. So I have a spiel. It's like an opening spiel. Your episode is 114.
Okay.
EP 14. The episodes launching are a little bit back because of the holiday season. So yours is probably going to show up in the new year.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So let me see here. Let me get my recorder ready.
Do you send out a little thing when it's posted, or should I just? Okay, awesome. Yeah. I'm going to get some water because I drank all my tea.
Woo, okay. And if you need to run and pee, do that too.
Okay, awesome.
Well, and while she's doing that, tell my Cabbies and Boldies that are watching, let's read about sex. Let's see here. So where are we going to go? Chapter 11. The mystery of sex transmutation. Let's see. How's about the, yeah, let's start there. Page 243 in this book. 243. Look at that sexy picture of Napoleon Hill. The meaning of the word transmute is, in simple language, the changing or transferring of one element or form of energy into another. The emotion of sex brings into being a state of mind. Because of ignorance on the subject, this state of mind is generally associated with the physical, and because of improper influences to which most people have been subjected in acquiring knowledge of sex, things essentially physical have been highly biased in the mind. The emotion of sex has back of it the possibility of three constructive potentialities. They are, 1, the perpetuation of mankind and womankind. I gotta put pussy in this book. 2,
right, that's right.
The maintenance of health. As a therapeutic agency, it has no equal. Sex. 3, the transformation of mediocrity into genius through transmutation. Sex transmutation is simple and easily explained. It means the switching of the mind from thoughts of physical expression to thoughts of some other nature.
Wow.
Cliffhanger! Yeah.
Right.
Now I want to read more. I think I'm going to read more of that in my my Facebook group. That'll be fun. Yeah.
Awesome. Mm-hmm.
All right, my guys. So I have an opening spiel, and I'm going to do a pantomime of 3, 2, 1. I'll do the opening spiel, then I'll go into the questions, and then when I feel like it's a good time to come to an end, I'll do my closing spiel, and then I'll do a 3, 2, 1 pantomime, and then that will be the end of the recording session.
All right.
Okay. This is our Hello, 1111.
Hello.
This is our last reminder to silence notifications. And
yes. Silence. I think I'm just gonna check to see my Facebook. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna put this.
Oh, my hair looks lovely.
You look gorgeous. You look sexy.
Oh, thank you.
Fabulous. Let me see here. I want to make sure that the thing doesn't turn off. Go, gadget. Don't turn off. Okay, whatever. It's gonna work. And we're recording on this as well, so.
Okay.
Okay. Starting the recording in 3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, it's Sensei Victoria Whitfield here, your journey partner in business, welcoming you back to episode 114 of the Journeypreneur podcast. This is your source for channeled holistic stress management techniques, guidance, inspiration, and motivation to stay on your path to rapid financial ascension and massive impact as a conscious entrepreneur. So today's podcast episode, yay, I get to share with you my dear, fabulous, loving, amazing goddess friend, Dr. Jane Tornatore. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. What a delicious welcome.
Yay, I love it. I'm so happy and grateful that I get to share your message and your energy and your beauty and just all of the good, juicy, golden nuggets that are in your brain. Oh my goddess. Like, it's so wonderful to get to celebrate you, especially because as a psychotherapist, you advocate for loving ourselves, radical self-love. And for those of you who are listening in, you can find Dr. Jane Tornatore at everydaylove.me is her URL. So with that being said, Jane, all right.
Yes.
This may be the very first time that someone is getting to hear of you or meet you. And so if you could tell us what you do, but in particular, my favorite thing is to know, what are the 3 things that you're known for? Could you tell us?
Yes. The first thing I'm known for is simple but profound tools to increase self-love and self-compassion. Like, not really big ones, but just simple little everyday tools, hence my name, Everyday Love. The second thing is my enthusiasm and authenticity. Now, next to you, I'm feeling like an enthusiastic baby, but that's totally okay because you are an enthusiasm rock star, man, right? But in the real world, I get so excited when I talk about, self-love and boundaries and little things we can do to change our life. And the third thing is I'm a brain geek. I love knowing about the brain and the nervous system. And right now I'm loving finding about polyvagal theory. And what I find is when I work with my clients, giving them the neurological and biological reasons for how they're responding, how they are, it like totally decreases their shame.
Ooh.
So it's awesome. Yeah.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Isn't it? Oh, anything to reduce shame in this world is good by my book.
Amen.
Right?
Like, isn't it interesting how when we have simple, clear, biological, biochemical, physiological things that can explain what's going on, shame and emotional phenomena decreases.
Yes.
Wow.
Right?
Gorgeous.
So simple. Like, it's so simple.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I love it. I love it. So I'm curious. So what got you into this in the first place? Like, why? Was there something that happened, or do you have a story around the day that you decided, or the moment you decided to become a psychotherapist? Like, what inspired you? I'm curious.
I do have a story. And what's really interesting is that clients, I've said this on other podcasts before, and clients have literally, when they come, they say, I came to you because of your story. Ooh. Which is really interesting to me. So anyway, my story is, my family was not, the healthiest family.
Yay!
Like, it wasn't like, apple pie family. So I became a therapist for very good reasons, but I didn't know it yet, right? So my sister, I was working in advertising in New York City, living with my sister after college, and hating it. And so my sister dragged us all to the family therapist. She's like, we got to do something here, people. This is awful. So I'm okay. I didn't think about therapy before. It wasn't even on my radar. So here's how the therapist opened the session. She said, my job is to put myself out of a job. And I'm like, what? That's crazy talk. What? I'm working in advertising, right? I'm like, no, you don't put yourself out of a job. You make more money. That's what you do. That's your job. And she said, but she had my attention, right? I'm like, oh, this woman is saying something really bizarre. So she said, when I work with families and they become healthier, and if they have kids, those kids are going to become healthier. So because they're healthier, if they have partners, get partners, they're going to be healthier with their partners. And if they have kids, those kids are going to be healthier. And then those kids are going to have partners who are going to be healthier. And she said, it'll spread around the world and I'm out of a job. And I'm like, I want to do that. That's what I want. I just knew right away. That's what I want. I want to spread health around the world. And I went back and went into my boss and said, I'm quitting and I'm going to go back to grad school to become a therapist, which was perfect because I sucked at advertising. It was clearly not the right job for me.
Yeah.
So I quit, and then I forgot about it. And I decided I was going to become an academic professor. I was going to teach and do research because I didn't have the courage to do therapy, right? To have my own business. I didn't have the courage to do what I'm doing now. So I was working in research and very good at it and loved it. And it was interesting, but I didn't wake up every morning and go, I'm so excited to do my job today. I'm so excited to run my statistics. I'm so excited to read this research article. I'd be like, yeah, I'm doing it. But it was just like plodding along day to day. And so the grant I was working on was ending. And I thought, and I just started reading and then freaked out by The Course in Miracles.
Ooh. I
was like reading it and it said, this chair is not here. And I'm like, it's too much. And I threw it away, right? I was just not in that space. So this time I was like, well, if there's a time for me to go out on my own, this is a perfect time. So I did. And it was a long journey, long journey. But I'm so happy. And now now I've just made another pivot. Woo! Which is, so for 10 years, my one dream was to build a full private practice. So for 5 years, it was to have a full private practice. And so I took insurance and finally, long haul. And I have a story about that turnaround, but I got it. And then I'm like, but I hate working with insurance. It felt inauthentic every time I'd write the care plan. And I'm like, that's not how I work. I want people to love themselves. I don't cure diseases, right? So every time it was like inauthentic. So I decided to have the courage to stop taking insurance. And then for 5 years, it's like, I just want a full private practice, private pay. That's all I want. I just want that. It took me 5 years because marketing's not my superpower, or it wasn't. Working on shifting that. And then it became full. And I'm like, yay, my dream of 10 years is here. And then like 6 months later, I went, what's next?
Oh,
right. It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. I was like, there's something more. So that's when I decided, because I can only see like 18 to 20 clients a week, because it takes a lot of energy to calm my nervous system and my client's nervous system so they can, work through their fears and get into freedom. So I can't help a bunch of people, right? And so I thought, well, it's time to go online to reach more people, which is totally a fear zone. Oh my God. And I'm still working through that fear. But that's when I launched the website everydaylove.me to give these tools that I give my clients every day to reach hopefully hundreds of thousands of people, because these tools work. And I want to spread it around the world, just like that first therapist that I met, like 35 years ago. So that's my story.
Oh my goodness, this is fabulous. What I am especially in awe of is how clear you were in describing of what you really want to do for your clients. I help people love themselves. I don't cure diseases.
Right.
Ooh. So I don't know if you know this about me personally, but before I got into being in business for myself, I used to work as a medical billing and coding manager for years.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
Wow,
Oh,
that's hard to picture.
yeah.
That's a lot of containment of energy, right?
Time I was like super shutdown mode.
Right.
The practice, they loved me. There's a cardiovascular specialist office, and so they had like one full-time doctor and a part-time doctor when I entered, and in a few years I took them from making 75 grand a month to over 750 grand a month.
Wow.
Them to 6 full-time doctors and all that. So that was what I was capable of when I was totally numbed out and shut down. So like I thought,
oh my God, my mouth is hanging open.
only like it was about learning how to play the insurance company's games.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like figuring out how to hack their system to make money come out. So it was like all of the how do you say, emotional disconnect and detachment of like, yeah, I'm in here to just like turn this into a printing press. And I did.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized how profitable it is for people to be sick.
Mm-hmm.
And that disgusted me.
Mm-hmm.
I started to feel disgusted with myself.
Oh.
And I would drink and smoke and only really eat Twix as my main.
Oh my God.
And it was
great numbing, right?
yeah. So it's like,
good job numbing, right?
numbed out, rather than confronting the fact that I was disgusted with the system that I was playing in.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, I had an experience of, well, not luckily, of my boss screaming so loud at one of the people that answered to me that I had chest pain for the first time in my life in my 20s. Yeah. And I never got to meet my grandfather because he dropped dead at work with a heart attack. So
wow.
it was like, no. That was the wake-up call to get
right.
out and to start believing that there's another paradigm. So I want to celebrate you, Jane, for advocating for people learning how to love themselves rather than people seeing themselves as cars that got to go to the mechanic to get opened up and slapped together and then put back on the road. Like,
right.
Thank you for what you do.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like with that, you know, as we're on our journey, right, of expansion, I believe that like when we commit to service, you know, one of the three dharmas of Buddhism is service as a vehicle for enlightenment. When we commit to serving others through our business, there are things that come up that trigger our underlining the word trigger. So I'm curious, was there ever a point, and this, I know I'm asking like a very loaded question here, was there ever a point that you felt like, you know what, I don't have what it takes, like maybe I should throw in the towel on my mission and on my vision? Was there ever a point where you came to that, and if so, like what did you tell yourself? I ask because there are people who are listening in right now who may be right there and need to hear a word from a goddess who's on the other side of the dark chasm. So could you tell me, like, what happened then?
Right. If I'm going to be completely honest, there are many points like that. Yes. You know the term wounded warrior?
Yes.
Right? A wounded healer. We teach what we most need to learn. I teach self-love. So guess what my greatest struggle in life is? Yes, right?
Right there with you, God.
Right? I've got tools because I need tools, right? So this is something that even though I keep moving forward and expanding, it's always, I'm just going to deeper levels of self-love because I'm going to deeper levels of self-hate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this for me is honestly, it's probably going to be a lifelong struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Now I love myself so much more, and I'm so much calmer, and I'm happier and successful and all that. But one of my things is being authentic. So I'm not like, it's all good. I'm like, it's good. And I still got darkness because I'm human, right? I'm human with wounds. So I just go deeper with the wounds and deep and higher with the freedom. So it's almost like it's a, not a linear up, but a linear up and down process. And I'm really big on, we hold both. We hold all of our humanity. This is not about being perfect. It's not about being good. It's not even about being better. It's about being more whole. So that's why I'm like, as I grow up, I deal with the deeper aspects of my own self-judgment and self-hatred. So, but I've got a great story for one of the times I almost threw in the towel, which was, it was probably year 3 in my business. And I learned wacky beliefs about money. I learned that there's never, ever, ever enough, right? I grew up with that, and I'm still like, no, there's enough. And there always is enough. That's what's so strange. There's always, always, always enough. And I continue to go, but there's not. Even as I make over $100,000, it's like, yeah, but that's not, you still don't have enough because you have to pay, right? So this is one of my things, like, yeah, just start to live in reality versus your belief system, Jane. But anyway, one of my favorite stories is, like, every year, even in the beginning of my business, I would make more money. Like every year, and I would pay off more debt because I had a lot of student loan debt and car debt. And every year I'd make more money and pay off debt. And every month I would be like, oh, I hope I have enough money to buy food and pay my rent. Like every month I would have like $10 extra. Right? So if anything extra happened, I'd be like, ah! And I always had enough when something extra happened, but I was just like, I know. So I lived in that constant lack and constant constriction of lack. So because that book that I threw away still, the Course in Miracles still had its little like tendrils in my brain, I was like, I know that feeling abundance is powerful. I have a hard time doing it because when I would feel abundant, I would shut down. Like I would actually get more constricted and like, no, I'm fabulously wealthy. And my psyche's like, that's crap. You're not fabulously wealthy. Stop saying it. Right. So I had to make it my own. And that's one of my things is I help my clients make tools their own because they're my tools and they work for me. But that doesn't mean they're automatically going to work for my client. So it's like, how do you take it, the tendril, the kernel, and make it powerful for you? So anyway, so that's what I did. So what I decided one year was I was going to buy a cup of coffee a week, whether I could afford it or not. Like that's the space I was in, right? I buy a cup of coffee, whether I could afford it or not, once a week. And I'm going to start a gratitude practice. So when I woke up in the morning, and for me, listing wasn't good because I'm a recovering perfectionist. So I'd be like, well, that list sucks. That's not good enough. That's the same list you had last week. So I would judge my list. So instead, what I did is I would just physically feel gratitude. And so in the morning before I got out of bed, I would just feel gratitude. And then at night before I went to bed, I would just feel gratitude for nothing in particular. I was just grateful. And then after a couple of weeks, I noticed I would start like spontaneously feeling grateful. So I could tell my neural pathways were starting to shift to make gratitude like a natural pathway, unconscious process versus I have to feel grateful for 3 things today, right? So I did that. I had a cup of coffee a week, whether I could afford it or not. And I did my gratitude practice. And Victoria, at the end of that year, for the first time in like 3 or 4 years, I didn't make more money. And I was eating out. I'd paid off more debt and I had extra money at the end of the month. Now, before it made no sense that I didn't have any extra money when I was paying off more debt and I was looking at it going, it doesn't make sense that I feel poor. And so this time I was like, it doesn't make sense that I have enough when I didn't make any more money. So it wasn't about the money. It was not about the money. It was about me and my presence in my life.
Mm.
So after that, my business grew even more. And I have more at the end of the month, and I'm spending money on my business and stuff that I want. And I still honestly struggle with, I want to expand more. I want to get more help to help me expand more. And I'm like, I don't know if I have enough money, but I'm in a totally different plane than I was before. And I expect to be on a totally different plane later too. But that was such a simple practice that was like magic. It made no sense, but it worked. So anyway, that's my story. So
Wow.
for me, what the bottom line is with lack, I was constricting. I could feel my whole presence, my whole body constricting. So how am I going to allow in any clients or abundance or any good when I'm constricted? So the gratitude practice, the allowing myself a cup of coffee, literally opened up my body and my psyche, so I could be more with what was versus my constricted lack belief system. Yeah. So I was more open to the world.
Oh,
Isn't that an awesome story? I love that.
this is so fab. I'm just taking it in. I'm taking in how brilliant this shift is, because I'm going to gender this. It's mental transformation, thinking and logicking and efforting and calculating. Like, I have to have 3 things that I itemize that I'm grateful for.
Right.
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, or for those of you who are listening in, disagree with me if you want to, please do. I would love to hear it. I believe it's a very masculine energy of codifying the transformation, documenting, and kind of pushing through to make sure I meet my numbers of
right
things on a daily basis.
And people always quantify or qualify, is it good enough? Is this a good enough thing, or is this not good enough? Is this stupid? Is this blah 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 blah?
Did I win?
Yeah.
Did I win? Did I do the best job that I possibly could because I met this measuring stick that I've applied to myself? And the feeling sense, rather than it being something that you can necessarily codify, but instead you experience it, this feeling of gratitude, practicing the feeling of
like in my body, right?
A sensual experience of an idea, right? Or a mindset, the sensual experience, or trying to remember what the term was for it, like a sensual experience. Like, there's a very specific word. It's dropping out of my head at the moment. But the sensuality of it, I believe, is essentially feminine. Choosing to feel your way into the new paradigm rather than win your way to the new paradigm that is desired. This is really a revelation, because for me personally, I've grown up in a patriarchal paradigm that measures and is constantly measuring, and is hierarchical in its essence. So in order to have the felt sense of gratitude, or the felt sense of my manifestation or my desired outcome, to feel it in my body, is something entirely from left field, or from the feminine field, if we want to put it that way. I'm curious, like, what comes up for you around shifting in a masculine sense versus shifting in a feminine sense? Because the story that you shared with me, I'm very intrigued by how feminine the practice was that you share.
Yeah, I grew up the same as you. And academia, in my mind, it was like, how many articles you publish, what are the quality of the journals, what are your student evaluations, blah, 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 how many committees you're on. It was all about measurement. And I grew up with, that's how you measure success. I mean, I grew up with the masculine model, the numbers matter. The number of people, like before I went into academia, I think even as a grad student, I had this secret desire, which was I wanted to publish, because back then it was a really big deal. I wanted to publish in Reader's Digest because I knew I would reach so many people, because gazillions of people read Reader's Digest back then. Journal articles, you're lucky if 11 people read them, right? You're doing it for prestige and your vita. You aren't doing it to reach a lot of people, right? You're doing it to be known in your field and seen as the expert. You aren't doing it. Okay, so this is a major generalization, but some people do it to change the world. And some people do change the world through their research. But really, it's like we're always judging and we're always competing and we're always seeing where we are as compared to other people. And, if I would have said, I want to publish in Reader's Digest, they would have been like, yeah, no. That's not good enough, right? So I think at my heart, I bought into the paradigm of thou shalt judge and compare and have a hierarchy, but my heart was never there. It was never there. So with that, in my mind, brilliant decision, like two such simple things, like changed my whole money mindset. It changed my business. It changed the amount of people I would reach. So I think when I finally started following my heart, that's when I started reaching people and allowing people to find me and hear my message. So yeah.
So what I love about the idea of following your heart is that whether you are male or female, you have one. Or
yes.
Like, the gene split and your heart went elsewhere. So like that.
Right.
Babies born without hearts. For those who manifested that in this lifetime. But whether you're male or female or trans, right? You have a heart, and this masculine paradigm is one that applies to both and
everybody.
Every single body. And that reminds me of the word I was trying to think of before, and it was somatic. The sense of
somatic experiencing.
Yeah, somatic experiences. So as opposed to just cognition. So for those who are listening in who are like, go gadget jargon, I have no idea what you mean by somatic. What do you mean by cognitive? So like cognition is thought processes. Somatic is sensual, like embodied processes, experiences that you're having. So I just have to really, really praise you, Goddess, for sharing a somatic technique.
Right.
And how the power of somatic knowledge and somatic feeling, somatic experiences, somatic emotions can really give us a gateway for tuning into our innate wisdom and really embodying it.
Yeah. There's so many people who work, are successful and work, and they leave their body behind. Like their body suffers, their body gets illnesses, their body has pain because they're like, here's my goal and I will make it. And the body's like, hello, I'm here too. And they're like, no, you don't exist, right? But when they start to pay attention to their body, what they're doing in the way they're doing it isn't sustainable. So our body is a great balancer for, let's take all of us into this life and how we live. Let's live fully versus just, this head goal thing. So our body has so much wisdom. Oh my goodness.
Yay! I love it. And it's so true. As a high achiever, half my practice, my own personal development practice, has been reconnecting to my body rather than leaving her behind.
Right.
In order to achieve the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Okay, so here's the juice.
Okay.
You are all the juice.
Yay! I'm like, what is it, Victoria? What is it? I'm waiting. What?
It's you. Oh my goddess, Jane. Like this, our conversation right now, I know, is only the tip of the iceberg of all of the incredible wisdom and techniques, right? And just all of what you have to share here in the world. And I know that we could go on talking for 3 hours, but I'm not Joe Rogan. By the way, he's fabulous. Shout out to everyone who listens to Joe Rogan. But at the same time, I wanna honor the fact that someone may be listening in right now who's like, wow, this is my woman. This is my woman, like, who feels like he or she needs to connect on a deeper way to you. And with that being said, with all of what you've blessed us with, I want to know, where do we get to go to celebrate you? Like, where is it online? Where are we going? Like, how do we connect and celebrate with you?
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that. So my website is everydaylove.me. I have a book, everything, and I'll show it for the video people. Everything is Perfect, Just Not Me, a roadmap for self-acceptance. This book is like less than 50 pages long, super simple. Some of my most powerful tips I give my clients. And this is the part I'm both very excited and scared about. This is my next level, is I have an online program, which I'm starting in January, and will launch about quarterly, of 7 powerful practices for your inner perfectionist.
Ooh.
Yes, so I'm super excited. So people who can't come into my office can still get the tools, and then we've got online group video calls, so I can help them, tailor the tools to what's happening in their life. So that's my next stretch, and I'm very excited and very scared at the same time. But I'm committed. It's like, I have to do it. It's one of those drives. It's like, it's coming from my heart. You will do this, Jane. You will. So it feels very powerful.
I love it. Oh, this is so good. The fact that it is like scary is also the fact that it's powerful. Like
right.
It wouldn't be scary if it wasn't like something powerful and transformational that you're birthing.
Ooh, you just gave me chills down my whole body.
Yeah. Confirmation chills. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. So by the way, where will people find out about that? Do they need to like go to the website and get on the email list?
Oh, great question. Oh, so my book is on Amazon. If you just do Everything is Perfect, Just Not Me. If you do Everything is Perfect, you'll get, because I'm a liar. That always comes up first. I'm like, oh, that's a different message than mine. Don't click that one if you want my message, right? So that's on Amazon. And the program you can find, if you go to everydaylove.me, there will be a thing right at the top to click to learn more about the program.
Alrighty. And so it is. I love it. And I'm so excited to get to celebrate you more in the future, Jane. Thank you so much for stopping by on the podcast.
I am so delighted to be here, Victoria, and spend time with you again. It's just opened my heart.
Yay. Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, and I'm going to turn it over to our listeners now. So if this is your first time stopping by the Journeypreneur podcast, hi. Thank you for stopping by. Please make sure that you hit that subscribe button on iTunes so that you get the notifications of our new episodes first as they launch. And while you're at it, go ahead and leave us a 5-star review. My favorite part is reading the comments that everyone leaves for their 5-star reviews. This is episode 114 with Jane Tornatore, Dr. Jane Tornatore. What was your favorite thing that she said? Leave it in that comment section with your 5-star review. I'd love to hear what blessed you. Not only does that, make me feel filled and appreciated, but it also helps the rest of our tribe out there who are looking for support and positive inspiration to know that this is the right place to come to and get it. So thank you for supporting all of us in sharing your stories. So with that being said, we're going to bring this podcast to a close with the same thing that I say every time. Please remember to enjoy the journey. Do not lose your glow as you grow in life and business. And I'll see you in the next podcast episode. Mwah, bye!
Yay!
Wonderful! Ooh, that was so juicy.
Wasn't that fun?
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed that.
I love it. I love it. Like, I love hearing your stories. I love getting into like more of your nerdful brain part.
Right.
Yeah. And I love thinking and feeling together. So thank you for being open to play, Goddess.
Yeah, absolutely. That was awesome. Thank you so much for spreading the health and the love in the world.
My pleasure. Alrighty, so, and to everyone watching in the Cabs Bold Heart Grads Facebook.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you for tuning in. I'm excited to see your comments below. I mean, obviously this is a recording, so I'm going to be like stalking. Who's
right?
I think I'm also going to tag Dolores.
Yes. Good.
That super shout out that you gave to her for all the transformational work she's doing. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Jane. Yay.
Thank you. It was wonderful, wonderful to see you again.
So good seeing you too. Let's keep this thing going.
Okay. Bye.
Bye for now.